much you're willing to take that risk to prove that you're the best.
Well, Crawford still got to start off quick. He got to match his energy.
Listen, like I said before, we're not going to talk about the past.
Big moment for boxing.
This is the biggest fight in the last 10 years.
And it's easy to get there. You might as well turn off the TV. It's over.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford lift the curtain on their fight prep, giving fans an exclusive look at the intensity behind the biggest clash in boxing. Additionally, Crawford has remained calm in the build-up, insisting he's fully prepared for the showdown. Reflecting on the hardship of his career and the battles that shaped him, he explained that stepping into a stage of this magnitude is about more than titles or recognition. For Crawford, it is about carving his name into boxing history.
Oh, just chill, just chill till it's fight time.
So you're already ready?
I'm ready. I've been ready.
Terence, what does it mean to you to be a part of the third biggest gate and you're headlining that in history?
Well, it means a lot, especially with all the obstacles I had to go through in my career to get to right now. We're here now, and I'm just happy that I'm a part of the history.
What have you learned about Canelo that you didn't know coming into fight?
Nothing.
At the same time, Crawford responded to those who keep bringing up his past performances, making it clear that he does not dwell in the past and only focuses on moving forward. He said critics refuse to talk about the present or the future. Crawford pointed out that if people claim he did not look his best against Israel Madrimov, then the same could be said about Canelo's showing against William Skull.
Listen, like I said before, we're not going to talk about the past. We're going to talk about the present and the future. His last fight wasn't spectacular either. So, one that's talking about my last performance, let's talk about his last performance. So don't do that on me and say, oh, well, your last performance was this, and we gotta talk about his last performance as well.
Echoing the significance of this moment, Turki Al Sheikh stated that this is the biggest fight in boxing and emphasized that for both fighters it represents the biggest moment of their careers. He added that they will be giving their absolute best when they step into the ring.
It's been good. It's been good. And this is the biggest fight in the last 10 years.
What do you make of Terence Crawford's shape? He posted that photo with the six-pack. How do you think he's handling the weight?
This is the fight, the biggest fight for them. And they will be ready 100%, both of them.
Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen revealed that WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman will be the one placing the belt around the winner of Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Sonnen claimed that only a handful of men can say that they're truly in charge of boxing and questioned what Sulaiman has actually done for the sport.
When Dana steps in and says, I'm going to be involved in boxing, Sulaiman has now come out. The way the story goes is he's called over to Dana White. It is his belt that he's the president of. It's the WBA belt that Crawford and Canelo will be fighting for. And history, as well as the rules, state that he, as the official representative, is the one to put the belt around a fighter's waist. That would be absurd, but I can't say it's not true. That would be a really absurd thing for somebody to put within the bylaws.
Expanding on that, he argued that if Sulaiman's contributions were meaningful, they would have already been recognized. Sonnen added that after Sulaiman's discussions with UFC President Dana White went silent, he uncovered Sulaiman's plan to rush into the ring with 2 guards so he could personally crown the winner.
Dana White has ghosted him, and he says he doesn't care if it takes 2 security guards, he will be rushing the ring. Now, that's a crime. That's trespass. He would not have any more right to rush the ring than you would have to rush the football field or rush the court. Or let's just do apples for apples and say then you would have to grab the belt, rush the ring, and demand that you be the one to put it around the waist of the winning athlete. It's silly and it's petty, but it's a piece of this.
Moving on, Dana White stated that all the talk and promotion are over. He noted that experts continue to give predictions and opinions, but the speculation has been ongoing for months.
And then, so my thing is, all the talk is done, right? You've had all this promotion leading up to the event, right? You don't need to run on for 45 minutes talking about the fight. All the talk is over.
Kellerman, shut up.
It's all the predictions, all the back and forth, but we've been doing this now for months.
Right.
People want to see the fight that night. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get through the night and make it quick and keep that energy up, you know, because throughout the night you'll go like this, because every fight isn't going to be great. I want the best to fight the best. The undercard, you should want to be there for the first fight of the night, because that's going to be a fight that you know is going to be good and means something.
In addition, he emphasized that fans are ready to see the action and want results inside the ring.
That's why I call this fight a once-in-a-lifetime fight. When you have, you know, a guy like Crawford, who's undefeated and is willing to move up in weight and fight somebody like Canelo, this is what it's all about. I mean, two of the all-time best, right? Putting it all on the line. Every time you put on a fight, what makes people care about it is what's at stake, right? That's why some of this celebrity stuff that happens, I think it's goofy. It's not what I do, but I completely understand that, you know, this celebrity versus this celebrity, and you just want to see the train wreck and see who's going to win. I totally get it.
Adding a personal touch, Dana revealed that his family were big boxing fans and that the energy inside the house was electric. He became quickly hooked and fell in love with the sport.
I don't remember my age, but I was very, very young. And, you know, my uncles were all big boxing fans. And, you know, when the fights on ABC's Wide World of Sports would be on, there was just this energy or buzz in the house that I became addicted to, and I fell in love with the sport.
Interestingly, John Anik revealed that on September 13th, he will join the commentary team alongside Max Kellerman and Andre Ward. He stated that he's been preparing thoroughly for the event, focusing primarily on fighters who have not yet gained mainstream attention.
We're excited, you know, trying to dust off the rust. Last time I called a boxing match was Vitaly Klitschko, Shannon Briggs, the WBC Heavyweight Championship in 2010 for ESPN. But it's been an exciting time just diving into the prep. A lot of anxiety for me when it comes to being optimally prepared for September 13th. But once I get to, you know, midnight Pacific on September 12th, I'm going to be a very happy man, because I am truly grateful and honored to, you know, be one of three men with a microphone come September 13th on Netflix.
Do we know the third man? I read back where it was you, Max Kellerman, and an analyst to be named later. Has that analyst been named yet?
Furthermore, Anik added that his preparation for this fight felt more like his work during Bellator Season 1 than any of his previous UFC preparations.
There are a lot of different directions in which I could go, right? But a lot of my preparation is rooted in learning athletes that have not been on my radar at all, right? Throughout their boxing careers. I'm talking largely about these prelim fighters and even a couple of the fighters on the main card that even a lot of boxing fans aren't necessarily following their every move. So it reminds me more of calling Bellator Season 1 in 2009 than it does any sort of UFC preparation. You know, when I'm watching Steven Nelson film earlier today, I'm looking at him for the first time in my life. So I am trying to condense a huge amount of preparation into a short amount of time, and I am but one man with only a certain amount of bandwidth. So,
additionally, Teddy Atlas acknowledged Canelo and praised Crawford, calling him a special talent with rare intangibles. He highlighted Crawford's burning desire to win and said his greatness comes from his mindset, his makeup, and his journey. Atlas added that Crawford can move him in weight class, but questioned whether he can carry his skills and power to the next level.
Maybe he's a little overrated. Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it, you know, but those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
Building on that, Tim Bradley predicted that Canelo will likely be hunting for a knockout. He explained that Crawford must start fast and match Canelo's energy, comparing it to a standoff in the straight where you have to be ready for the fight. Bradley added that every time Canelo steps back, Crawford needs to inch forward and close the gap to keep the pressure on.
Look, Canelo, I saw somebody in the comment section say, you know, if Canelo starts off fast, because he's going to be looking for, you know, the KO. If he starts off fast, what does Crawford do? If you want him to start fast. Well, Crawford still got to start off quick. He got to match his energy. That's just it. You know, you in the standoff, it's just like you in the street, right? And you in the squabble. It just started. Both y'all squared up. And y'all, you know, both y'all movements, you know what I'm saying? Y'all reacting to each other's movements. It's the same thing inside the ring. Same thing. Start off quick, inching forward. Anytime Canelo give up a little ground, and Crawford inching forward.
Furthermore, Tim stated that Crawford must keep Canelo guessing and establish himself early. He warned that if Canelo finds his rhythm, the fight could be as good as over, saying fans might as well turn off the TV because at that point, Canelo would be bound to win.
But keeping Canelo, keeping him tentative, keeping him guessing. You know, if Canelo starts to jab and get off quickly, and if Crawford can't establish himself, and Canelo close that door or go through that front door and it's easy to get there, you might as well turn off the TV. It's over. It's over. Turn off the TV. Not unless Crawford catch him with something, you know, he don't see, you know, and knock him out. But if Canelo closes that distance too quickly, man, on Crawford, it's not gonna be a good thing.
In addition, Sonny Edwards stated that beating Saul Canelo Alvarez is extremely difficult, noting that the only fighters who managed to do it were masterclass boxers at the top of their divisions. He pointed out that Canelo faced them either at a catchweight like Floyd Mayweather or by moving up in weight, as with Dimitri Bivol, and Edwards added that while Crawford can box, he does not rely on being elusive.
So hard because the only person we've really seen beat him is the sort of master boxer in both Bivol and Mayweather, and okay, there's a few question mark decisions around there that we don't really need to go into, but it's the boxer that usually beats Canelo. Physically he's so impressive, but Crawford can box, but he tends not to try and be elusive. He usually meets the fire, and his fire is normally brighter, and it'll be interesting. Like, and remember, a fight's only between two people, even though you're looking at all the weights, etc., and stages of their career. But Crawford is one of the best fighters we've had for this generation, really. I rate him ridiculously highly, not only his...
Edwards added that Crawford is one of the best fighters of this generation, praising not only his boxing skills but also his wrestling acumen. He explained that Crawford makes full use of his limb control, balance, and weight transfer to create openings and land shots from difficult angles. Edwards stressed that this makes Crawford a serious threat to anyone, and if there is someone capable of overcoming the challenge of Canelo, it would be a fighter like Crawford.
Boxing acumen, his wrestling that you can see. He uses every bit of advantage of limb manipulation and finding his weight whilst transferring theirs and finding shots inside that makes him a real threat, a problem to anyone. And if anyone's going to overcome a weight disadvantage, shall I say, it will be someone like Crawford that has got sort of skills that you don't normally see in a boxing ring. But I don't know, I think maybe the size, the height, they're kind of very similar in height, stature, but Canelo's been used to fighting bigger men than him and is still sort of breaking them down and beating them. But
adding to that, Keith Thurman stated that money makes the world go round, but it is the legacy of a man that truly matters. He expressed his understanding of Crawford, describing him as someone determined to prove what he's truly capable of. Thurman emphasized that Crawford wanted the toughest challenge possible and chose to face Canelo at his full strength, which is why he refused to negotiate any catchweight.
Of course, money makes the world go round. But it's the legacy of a man that we remember. And I just understand Crawford. I understand him as a fighter, as somebody who wants to prove what they're truly capable of, who wants to take on the toughest challenges with no hesitation. Not like back in the day. No, you come back down, Canelo. We can fight at, 160. You don't like 160? Oh, we can fight at 162. He didn't bring in those negotiations, and he could have. Remember what Floyd did to Canelo?
He added that unlike Floyd Mayweather, who did not face Canelo at his peak, Keith Thurman argued that one of Canelo's losses were unjust and carefully planned. He claimed Mayweather took advantage of Canelo's status at the time, using his inexperience to secure the win.
Hey, listen, people. Listen to me for a second. Do you remember what Floyd did to Canelo? That was a catchweight. He took advantage of his status and of the opportunity that Canelo was going to have to bring it down a little bit more in his favor. Boxing is just an interesting sport, man. It's a very interesting sport. It's one of a kind. We got deep roots This is a historic sport. And what I love about being in boxing today is making today's history. History is always in the making.
However, Bernie the boxer praised Crawford's physique, saying he looks like an action figure. He even joked that Crawford appears sculpted like Mount Rushmore, and he addressed the rumors circulating about Crawford being injured, dismissing them as pure speculation. He made it clear that people are just making things up and confirmed that Crawford is perfectly healthy.
I don't know about if he's bigger than Canelo, but you see he look like an action figure, boy. Chet, shout out to Chet Fortune, man. Man, the man is, they just sculpted him like out of Mount Rushmore type shit. Well, you see that, boy? Man, I said, boy, you gonna get a lot of DMs, boy. You gonna get a lot of DMs.
Definitely, man. Well, he looks great. Yeah. But there's a lot of rumors they're talking about, the shoulder injury. What's going on with that? Is that just rumors, or?
Did you understand? We haven't heard anything rumors about Canelo though. All the bad things are happening in Crawford.
In his view, Bernie expressed full confidence in Crawford, stating that he has the ability to stop Canelo. He noted that when Crawford is working inside the ring, he is laser focused and determined to get the job done.
I think he could. You know what I'm saying? Bud goes to a different dimension in here. You know the task at hand, and nothing's out of the realm in boxing.
Definitely. And Bernie, being that Canelo has that great chin, would some of the keys to success be going to the body and trying to break, people really never tested, Canelo in the body. And Crawford is a body snatcher.
Because everybody going there terrified of him and trying to run out of there. Crawford ain't terrified of him. That's going to be the difference.
Exactly. You think Crawford's going to be willing to exchange more than other people because he has that dog in him?
No, I don't mean to be willing to exchange where we trade punches, but
yeah.
I'm going to be in there long enough to get mine off, and I got my defense to know what's coming back.
Finally, Colonel Moden delivered a sharp breakdown of what Crawford must do to beat Canelo. He urged Crawford to enter the ring with confidence and stay true to his own style. Moden cautioned him about Canelo's speed and dangerous counterpunching, while stressing that the biggest priority is avoiding Canelo's power shots.
Victory for Crawford, just going there be himself, his skills, his speed, his counterpunching ability, boxing ability. And, just watch out for Canelo's punches, he tried to throw the little awkward punches and fake you with him and come with the big shots, just watch out for that, just boxing.
Looking ahead, Moden highlighted that while Crawford enters the fight taller and possibly heavier, this will be his first test at Canelo's established weight class. He pointed out that Canelo is fully comfortable at this level, while Crawford faces the challenge of adjusting to new territory. Moden expressed excitement about how Crawford will handle the step up, praising his greatness and stating that a victory here would secure his place among the all-time greats. He added that a knockout over Canelo is possible, and if Crawford delivers it, his status at the very top of the sport would be undeniable.
Victory for Crawford, just going there be himself, his skills, his speed, his counterpunching ability, boxing ability. And, just watch out for Canelo's punches, he tried to throw the little awkward punches and fake you with him and come with the big shots, just watch out for that, just boxing.
Fight week for Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford has brought out the voices of legends, critics and fans alike, each weighing in on what could be a career-defining moment for both men. If you enjoyed the video, do let us know your opinions and predictions in the comment section below. In the meantime, show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, and we'll continue to see you in the next video with more exciting updates about Canelo and Crawford.